Now, in discussing the intellectual problem of suffering, it's important that we keep in mind who has the burden of proof here. What we're considering here is an argument for atheism. Previously in our seminar, we've been talking about arguments for the existence of God, and so it was we who had to bear the burden of proof. But now it's the atheist's turn. We want to hear from the atheist reasons to think God does not exist. So it's the atheist who has to shoulder the burden of proof here. It's up to him to give us an argument leading to the conclusion, therefore, God does not exist. This is important because all too often, believers allow unbelievers to shift the burden of proof onto the believer's shoulders. They'll say something like this: give me some good explanation for why God permits all the suffering in the world. And then he'll just sit back and play the skeptic at any possible explanations you might offer. And the atheist then winds up having to prove nothing. Now, this might be a clever debating strategy, but it's philosophically illegitimate. It's intellectually dishonest. The atheist is claiming that the suffering in the world somehow disproves God's existence. And so it's up to him to bear the burden of proof. Don't allow the atheist to shirk his intellectual responsibilities by shifting the burden onto you. He's the one who claims that the coexistence of God and the evil in the world is somehow problematic, either impossible or improbable. So it's up to him to give the argument and to support its premises. It's the Christian's turn now to play the skeptic and to question whether the atheist has given us good arguments to show that God can't have a good reason for permitting the suffering in the world. You need to insist that the atheist bear his share of the burden of proof when it's his turn to present arguments against God's existence.